Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Smruti Bhishcha Najayate Mriyate Va Vipaschite. You see, the context is like this. This prakarana by Shankara called UPADESH SAHASRI is a big prakarana. Some of the prakaranas are very small, like Ekashloki, only one verse is the prakarana. Prakarana is a contextual text. Means the Shastra Ekadesha. There is the Vedanta Shastra, the message of the Upanishads and Gita. That is the Vedanta Shastra. When you say Upanishads, that includes Brahma Sutra, because Brahma Sutra is about Upanishads only. Therefore, Upanishads and Gita, that is Vedanta, which is a Shastra. Why do you call it Shastra? Because Shamsanat Shastram. It tells you a few good things about life. That's why it is called Shastram. So, and you should not call everything Shastram. This is the Shastra. And in this there are many things about life are told. Life is infinite, you know. So unfortunately for us, life is merely a job, an occupation. It should not be like that. Life is extraordinarily wide and profound, not just a job or an occupation. In fact, life is a great mystery. It's a vast realm in which we are functioning. In that vast realm, we are functioning as human beings. It is like wave. It is moving, or it is staying as a wave for some time in that vast realm called ocean. So that is what life is, and a very profound thing what life is. And the Shastra tells us a few things about life. First, you should have a proper appreciation of what Vedanta is. Not just studying some books for a while and then boast for the rest of the life that I am this, I am that. That is not Vedanta. That is Devanta. So, and therefore life is such a vast thing, so there are many facets to life. And you take one of that and write a few, say a few things. That becomes a prakarana. That is how prakarana is understood. Like there is a light within, the light within, jyotihi. And so say a few things about it. That is a prakarana. The name to it is Ekashloki, like that. Then look at the body. Body is part of life. Look at the body. It is stacked, you know. You know, stacking. Take 5 things and stack. That is the body. Pancha bhautika. So Prithvi, Apaha, Agnihi, Vayuhu, Akashaha. Stacked. So look at this stacking, or look at this stack and say a few things about it. How this stacking happened, etc. That becomes another prakarana called Panchikaranam. So this way, suppose you say a very good number of facets of Vedanta, not just one. You may take quite a few of them and say, almost all of them you can say briefly. There is another prakarana called Viveka Chudamani. Upadesha Sahasri is also like that. So many aspects of Vedanta, meaning many aspects of human life, are discussed here in 1000 units. The units could be paragraphs when it is in the form of prose, some of it is prose, the rest of it is poems. or the unit could be a poem. So prose, 1, 2, 3, one para, like that, and poems one after the other. You count all of them, it comes to 1,000. That's why it is called UPADESH SAHASRI. That is the name given to it. Now we have selected the prose part of it. You can choose any part of it, because everything is a facet of life, you know. So in Telugu there is a proverb that applies here very well. Suppose the roti, Bhandara roti, from which side you have to eat it? That is the proverb in Telugu. So you can eat it from any side, yeah? It makes no difference. This Upadesha Sahasri is like that. You can start anywhere in a proper way and study it and understand life. That is the idea of taking sections and teaching. So here in this Gadya, the prose section, so Shankara, he creates a binary system, means a question-answer system. So he presents a teacher, anonymous. Just imagine a teacher there, sitting there, and then a student goes to him, and so a discussion starts. That is how he presents. That is called binary system, a dialogue between a teacher and a student. Why dialogue? Why not just present the topics like they do in other subjects, like grammar? So the sutras will be there, and some brief explanation of the sutra called Vritti will be there. And you study. We don't say Panini was there and then a Shishya came, like that we don't start. We don't present a teacher and student. So there, that is how grammar, that is how any other, even Nyaya, Tarka Sangraha. So Saptapadartha, like that the topic is introduced. Nowhere you will start with, there was a teacher sitting somewhere and then a student wanted to go to him and he approaches and touches his feet. By all this thing. So the idea is, all those subjects are not about Atma, they are about Anatma. Whereas this subject is about Atma, is about yourself. So there is a huge distinction between the two. And so this is about life. Whereas they are not about life per se. There are some aspects which are there in the life, which is fine. But the life, the very life is the topic here. And therefore, one living being discussing with another living being. So that is how the topic is always presented. One conscious person talking with another conscious person, because it is all about the consciousness. And therefore, you see, it is not, we should not, generally what we do, we prepare for a livelihood. We have to earn a livelihood. That is how we all, particularly in Indian society, which was a bit insecure to begin with, when compared with some of the Western societies, there is an inherent insecurity. So everybody is insecure, kind of we have to finish the education and then grab a job. Then only we can have security in life. That is the feeling. And therefore the society believes, the family people believe that life means securing a livelihood. That is how we believe. And whatever some religion we have, people talk big things about religion, but the religion that you have, or that we have, is after all a means for our securing a livelihood. That is how we look at it. Like we worship the goddess of knowledge, so that the goddess of knowledge will bless us and we get more marks. Why more marks? So that a better first class. Why first class? So that you can get a job easily. So all our worships, the entire religion is geared towards earning a livelihood. That is how the religion, it doesn't have a higher purpose. That is how it is practiced. So you may say big things about religion, but it all boils down to that. Maybe there are worthy exceptions, but generally I am saying the way the religion is practiced by the masses. And anyway, when we live like that, we miss the whole point of life. Therefore, for example, what you call life, which is in you, or which is you, is also there in the bird, in the flowers, in the leaves, in the trees. And the Gayatri Mantra says the same life is in the sun and in the stars. The same life it is, Hiranyagarbha. Therefore, and in the rivers, the same life is there, and in the fish inside the rivers. It is all life. All this is life. And the poor are the life, and the rich are also the life. So, therefore, it is necessary to understand the very nature of life itself. And that is the topic of Vedanta. And therefore, a conscious being who is very well educated and highly trained in various other aspects of education, like a Shastra, Nyaya Shastra, Veda, Karmas, etc. He is very well trained in all that. He goes to a Mahatma, not some ignoramus, or not some illiterate person who has no job to do, nothing else to do, is unemployed, or even unemployable, whatever. And therefore there is one Vedanta teaching guy. He is looking for some students, because without students he is a nobody. And therefore some Vedanta going on. Is it like that? It is not like that. If you look at Mundaka Upanishad, the way it begins, the Angiras, he was the very mantra drashta of the Atharva Veda. Atharva Veda is called Atharvangirasaha. Means the mantras which were discovered by two Maharshis, Atharva and Angiras. Atharva is also called Atharvana. The two Rishis have discovered the mantras. All those mantras put together are called Atharvangirasaha. Atharvangirasa Pucham Pratishtha. Like that you see that. For the Manomaya Kosha. Therefore, that is the Angiras Maharshi. He is a great jnani. I mean, great scholar in Veda and all that. And he wanted to know what life is. The Veda, the karmas, the worships, etc., he understood they are only a small part of life. They are not the entirety of life. He understood that. Suppose he believes this is all life, then he won't go to a Mahatma seeking the mystery of life. So it's a small part. And so whatever be our profession, it is a small part of life. It is not the entire life. And therefore, generally what happens is we prepare ourselves to understand only one small corner of life. Like a Vaidika, he understands how to perform the rituals. So that's it. He now decided he need not understand anything more. Like that. Somebody studies MA mathematics. He understands some mathematics. A binomial theorem, a set theory, a few things here, a few things there, and gets a job in a high school or a college and teaches whatever he learned to the students. And he thought the life is over now. Just wait for the retirement and then visit Kashi and come back and wait for the death. Because there is nothing more to life. This is how people conduct. But here comes the Angiras, who is a very well trained in Karmakanda of the Vedas, who is the very creator of a given Veda. The seer, not creator, the seer of a given Veda. He thought that this is not the entirety of life. So he approaches a Mahatma, a teacher. And so a discussion starts. That is how Mundaka Upanishad is. Therefore it is always a binary discussion between a teacher and a student. A very similar thing happens in UPADESH SAHASRI also. What is the name of the teacher is not mentioned, not necessary. It is a a teacher which is visualized by the Shankaracharya, and therefore a guru, who he says. And then a Shishya. Again, Shankara creates a Shishya, and the Shishya comes. And the discussion continues. The discussion is not about, in those days, knowledge means Vedas. Veda means karma. And then most of it is karma. 75% is karma. 24% is upasana. Ho gaya. And 1% is jnana. That is how the Veda is structured. And therefore, it is like in modern times, Veda is replaced by a different kind of education. This is the Macaulay has introduced that education. In that education system, we pass certain examinations. That is all we do. Then we find a job. And then get married. Some intelligent people get married after finding a job. Less intelligent people first get married and then start worrying about job and then get a job. Ultimately they get a job, some job or the other, most of them. So let us say he first finds the job and then get married. Then what? Have children. And then become more and more like machines. Some religion is always there. But the nature of religion is what? It is merely a belief associated with a few rituals. That is the essence of religion. But is that all religion is? Is that all? Religion means only that much? You just mumble a few prayers and do a few rituals in a mechanical way. They become mechanical in any case. Because you repeat the same blessed thing day after day, it becomes mechanical. There is no other way. You cannot stop it. If you bring Brahaspati and make him do the same thing, he becomes mechanical too. Because the scheme is like that. And therefore, so we become like machines. The machine is what? Put the switch on, it will do the same job. Like mixie in the wet grinder. They call it wet grinder in India. And so you put the switch on and so it grinds. And you can make idli and eat it. Next day, what? Put the switch on and then you can make dosha and eat it. The wet grinder. So people become like that. They become more and more like machines, nothing more. And in the process, what happens, in spite of all our rituals and gods and goddesses, in spite of all of that, we remain fearful. That is the study of life. I am just examining life. I am not examining rituals, please don't misunderstand. I am examining life. In which rituals are there? So they remain fearful. The ritualistic people are not free from fear. They should have become free by now, from fear. No, they are not free from fear. They remain fearful like any other worldly people. Anxious. They remain anxious. Generally frightened of life. And of course afraid of death also. This is how people live. And so, therefore, we should be able to appreciate the vast expanse of life. We should do that. We should be able to appreciate it. The life with all its subtleties. The life with its extraordinary beauty. The life with its sorrows and joys. We should be able to appreciate all of that. That is the learning of Vedanta. In other words, learning of life itself. And that is what that Shishya wanted. He is already prepared for a profession. He is not going to learn something of a profession from this Acharya. and therefore he goes to the Acharya. Okay? I am giving you a recap. And now what the Acharya does, he starts teaching a few things. Now generally, suppose you go to a Acharya. Just I am giving you a counter example from the modern context. Suppose you go to a Acharya. Mahatma ji, so life is going on, something you present before him. And what the Mahatma will tell you? Sir, you have to understand yourself. You should know yourself. Life will be going on. Life has its vicissitudes. Sorrows and joys, both will be there in life. So, what you should do is, you should know yourself. Will any Mahatma tell like that? This is a crazy world. Nobody will tell like that. They tell you, you take this photo, this mantra, this mala, and do puja. That is what they tell. You see? Suppose you go and pin them down. Somebody like me pins the Mahatma down. Why don't you tell him something about Atma? Suppose you pin down. You know what they say? I am saying based on experience. They say, oh, they don't understand. This is all they deserve. Therefore, in the very beginning, you conclude that these do not have adhikara. They are unfit for the higher knowledge. They are fit for only some ritual and some mantra. Mantra is what? Are they fit for contemplating upon the vision that is contained in the mantra? Is that what they are supposed to do? You take the Gayatri mantra and contemplate. Is that what they are supposed to do? No. It is not that. It's a crazy world. They don't tell you. Like Varuna tells Bhrugu, dear son, go and find God. Go and find the truth of life. That is what God is. They don't tell you. They give a photograph of God to you. This is a crazy world. So, a Mahatma will tell, dear sir, what is your opinion of this world? Do you think it is exactly real as it appears to you? You have to examine that. Because that will solve all your problems. That becomes a solution, not for the present, today's problem which you are having, but it becomes a solution to the problems of the entire life. Then you should know who you are. You should not say, I know who I am already, I have the certificate to prove who I am. You don't be like Aadhaar card guy. You should know. So, that is how the people should be encouraged to know. That is what this Acharya does. Very rare Acharya who encourages the student to know. He doesn't give him a belief. That is what people do. They hand over a belief. What does it mean? You hand over a belief to the other person means what? You convert the person to your belief. That is what it is. Nothing more to it. So, in Vedanta, the Mahatmas don't do that. They don't do that. You look at any Upanishad. They don't follow this method. They follow a different approach altogether, in which the teacher tries to encourage the student to investigate, to explore, and to know. That is the method of knowing. So you will investigate, you will explore, and you will know. The teacher is only, he helps. Like the tennis coach, tennis coach in modern times, the tennis coach, he won't play the game for you. You have to play the game. You have to go into the field, take the racket and face the opponent and play the game. The game throws up challenges. You face all those challenges. The tennis coach won't come and move your racket for you. When the other person hits a shot, the tennis coach won't come with a racket himself and face that shot. You have to face it. The coach will be sitting there. In fact, there is a rule in tennis that the coach is not supposed to give any hint, even by gestures, to his player, to his ward, while the game is on. While the game is going on, there, here, like that, some kind of a hint if he tries to give, the umpire will warn the coach, hey, shut up, or otherwise I will throw you out of the arena. He is not supposed to interfere. That is how the Vedanta Guru is. He will not create any miracles or any such thing. He will help you discover. First explore and then discover yourself in yourself, in you. Yourself in yourself. That is what the Guru does. He won't offer a belief system to you. Because if a belief system is offered, that cripples the mind of the person. He becomes like a tram car. That was my favorite example. Now I got another example. Or like a wet grinder. It becomes like that. Therefore, the teacher is pointing out, dear son, you should know yourself. Do you know yourself? I tell you how you are. So he says, Gita tells this about yourself. That is, the teacher is telling. Gita says, he is quoting Gita. Gita says this about yourself. What? Let us say, Najayate mriyate va kadachit. So that much you have in your handout. And the rest of the verse is, So nayam bhutva abhavitava na bhuyaha ajo nityaha shashvatoyam puranaha nahanyate hanyamane sharire. This comes from Gita, but really speaking, even Sri Krishna quoted this. Therefore it comes from Kathopanishad. Shankara says, Yata evam tasmad ubhauto na vijanitaha iti purvena mantrena asya sambandhaha. So this is a mantra. And the earlier mantra, these two are mantras. Avatarika also he says, two mantras coming from Kathopanishad. So from Kathopanishad it came to Gita, and from Gita it has come to this Guru who is giving it to the student. Means this is what you call parampara. If you wish to call it, that is how you can call it. So, means a very valid piece of knowledge about yourself. You are not what you take yourself to be. You have an image of yourself. You consider yourself to be a fixed point. So you are a fixed point, and God is another fixed point. This is what students of Vedanta wrongly assume. I am a fixed point. You know what is fixed point? Means I am such and such, born in such and such family, I am Indian or European or whatever, and I am a student of Vedanta, so I am this person, this body mind, this person. This is what I am. That is the fixed point. And then there is another fixed point called God. The dualistic religious people, they have some funny ideas about that fixed point called God. The Vedantic people have a different set of ideas about God, about the fixed point called God. Therefore, now what is this study? Study, sometimes called sadhana. What is it? This fixed point called jiva or student reaches the fixed point called God. Come on. I told you this is a crazy world, I tell you. You got it all the way wrong. You are not a fixed point. God is not a fixed point. No, I seem to be the fixed point, No. This is the body. You are not the body. You are the one who inhabits the body. You are not the body. You inhabit the body. There is a distinction between the body and the embodied. There is a distinction. In fact, they belong to two orders of reality. Like you live in a house, and the house may not be your own. You are a tenant in that, but you are your own. The house you may have to vacate, but you cannot vacate yourself. The house is jada, made of clay, cement, etc. You are not made of clay and cement and all that. So, the house you can sell. You cannot sell yourself. Nobody will purchase. So, what I tried to convey is the body and the embodied. They are of two different orders of reality. They are not of the same order of reality. How they are different? Body jayate mriyate. The embodied. What is that embodied? You have to find out. You have to find out, Appa. You explore. You have to find out. Tapasa brahma vijijñāsasva. Tapa alochana. Iti vayyakarana prasiddhihi, not dhatu pathaha. So, tapasa brahma vijijñāsasva. Satapodapyata. Shankara alochanam kurtavan ityarthaha. Taitriya. Therefore, so yasya jnanamayam tapaha. Mundaka. Shankara quotes it in Taitriya. Anyway, therefore, he gave a thought to it. He contemplated, gave a thought. So, you are not the body. Body jayate mriyate. You do not take birth, nor you will die. So, na jayate mriyate. You see, first you have to understand, you tell me, there are three entities. Worldly entity, religious entity, and a spiritual entity. What are you? Worldly entity. Why are you wasting your time here? This is the time to open the business house and do some brisk business. Or if you work for somebody else, report to the duty and work and make money. Go into the world. Why are you wasting time in an ashram? This is not the place for worldly people. No, I am not a worldly person. I am a religious person. Then you should go and do some ritual. Or do some upasana, some mantra, etc. Take it and do upasana. What are you doing here? That is what the religious people say also. They ask, hey, what are all they doing there? They all sit there and look at one guy, he is speaking something unintelligible, and they are all nodding their heads. What is going on? Some tamasha is going on. Why don't they come and do some bhajan here? Tabla is there, the harmony is there, Hare Rama, that is a nice thing to do, which is true also. What they do? One Mahatma could not contain his frustration and asked me, hey Swamiji, what do you do? I read the book. Which book it is? Gita. So you read it from this bag, this end to this end, this cover to this cover. That is what you do. I said, yeah, pretty much that seems to be the case. Why should you do that? Then I told him, it's okay, I understand your point. You tell me what should I do. I told him, because you learn, you find out what he has in his mind. He said, come, let us do asanas. That is what he told. He is a yogi. That is the time for doing asanas also. Come, let us do asanas. You believe me, I closed the book and did some asanas and learnt a few asanas. This is how people are. They are religious entities. It just cannot make any sense to them, the thing that we are doing here. Therefore, if you are a religious entity, if you are a believing entity, that is what a religious entity means, you are wasting your time here. No, we are spiritual entities. Don't underestimate us. Okay, I appreciate that. If you are a spiritual entity, you are not becoming. You should know that. There is no becoming for you. Becoming is for worldly people. Make money and become something. Enjoy pleasures and become something. For religious people, do some karma and become something. Do some upasana and become something. That is all. They are all becoming people, not a spiritual entity. Here, there is no becoming. You are not becoming anymore. Once you are not becoming, that means there is no time in your scheme. You are not in the domain of time. That is the worldly people, that is the religious people. A religious person is in time. Karma, karma phalam. Do karma now, get karma phalam later. Yajna and Swarga. Do Yajna today and get Swarga later. That is the religious guy. Upasana, same. Do Upasana now, then go to the Devata Loka and enjoy there. So, these are some of the basic things. When the basics are not settled properly, you play on the superficial level, you will be wasting your time and get nothing out of it. So for you, the time has no meaning anymore, and you have to take care that you are not caught in this net of time. When time has no meaning now, then life and death are one. Because life and death, or birth and death, that is time. That is not for a spiritual entity. When there is no birth and there is no death, then there is timelessness. You think about it. When there is no birth, there is no death. I was not born and I am not going to die. Then I am already in the embrace of timelessness. And that is called Nitya. Yesterday there was a satsanga question, Nitya. That is Nitya. Translated as the eternity or eternal. That is the meaning, that is what you are. Najayate mriyateva. You see, if you are a spiritual entity, you are not concerned about death. And of course, goes without saying that you are not concerned about birth also. And then there is a thing called continuity that is described in this verse. You see, there is a way to look at the verse, Gita verse. In that verse, 6 bhava vikaras were described. I am giving you the essence of the verse because it's only a quote. I will not spend the whole time on that verse. It begins with birth, jayate, ends with mriyate, vinashyati. In between there are 4 stages, total 6. Shakespeare described 7 stages. Somebody described 4. Upanishad, the Yaskacharya, not Upanishad, described 6. Gita corroborated what Yaska said. Yaska was very earlier person, very ancient Mahatma. Therefore, these are different levels of that which is born and which will die. So something is born, die, in between there are 4 stages. Grows, like childhood, youth, etc., what we say like that. So grows, then at descent grows, bell curve, descent grows, that end declines, in between something. This is what is called continuity. Therefore, the Shad Bhava Vikaras, they establish something called continuity, which is time. And therefore, if you are a spiritual entity, you are not concerned with continuity. The continuity is not for you. You don't live in that mental conditioning of continuity, that I am continuing. Now I have become old. Soon I will die. In another 10 years I will die. It will be nice that this death can be postponed by another 5 years. So this is continuity. That is not the thinking of a spiritual entity. Because the spiritual entity is not about continuity, it is not about time, because that which is spiritual is eternal, it is timeless. So you have to see what is it that continues in your daily life. Body, mind. You are not that. You are that which is timeless. And that which continues in daily life is not the spiritual entity. Then what is it that continues with the daily life? That which continues in the daily life is an imagined fixed point. Not real fixed point, a chaya. Like they say, Rahu and Ketu are chaya graha. They are not real planets, they are only shadows. There was only one shadow at the time of Shankara, not even two shadows. A second shadow was added later from Purana, not at the time of Shankara. If you look at Shankara, only one, Rahugrasta Divakarendu Sadrushaha Maya Samachhadanat, Krishnamurti Stotram. So we don't need two shadows, one for like Newton's two cats. A big cat, big hole, small cat, small hole. You don't need two. The carpenter tells Newton Mahashaya, hey Newton Sahab, you don't need two holes. No, I have two cats. Newton cannot see it, you know. He is a great scientist, but this he cannot see it. Then the carpenter can see it. He says, one will be enough, sir. I'll make the big one. That will be enough. That's true, but big one will go. How the small one will go? So similarly, to cover up the sun, you have one shadow. To cover up the moon, you don't need another shadow. The same shadow will do. Because the shadows cannot be different. People are different, not shadows. Shadow is what? Is not a thing. Chalo. This is called digression. Therefore, you don't need two shadows. Shankara, those Mahatmas, they managed with one shadow. They look at, there is a shadow, satisfied with one shadow. But the Purana came up with two shadows. So they wanted a team, you know. Therefore, they put one more shadow to make up the team. What a team it is. So, therefore, the fixed point, that which is a fixed point, that fixed point is not real. You are not a fixed point. But the fixed point imagined by the mind due to ignorance. So your memory, identifying with property, with a name, family name, etc., with a relationship, and then identifying with ideas of caste, creed, race, religion, etc., that creates the fixed point. And that fixed point is attached to the body that moves in the flow of time. That is continuous, not you. You are timeless. Najayate mriyate va nahanyate hanyamane sharire. So only one word can describe you correctly. That is aham. Because it covers the entire alphabet. Starts with A, ends with Ha, Sha, Sha, Sa, Ra, Ha. And then you close the lid or close the apparatus, become silent. Means silent. Aham. That is that Atma. Pure Aham, not Ahankara. Not the fixed point produced by identification with name, property and all that. Not that. Just the pure, awareful being Aham, which is timeless. Aham is timeless. Ahankara is continuous. Changeful and continuous. Whatever is changeful is continuous, and whatever is continuous is changeful. Therefore, that Aham, that is the Atma. Aham Atma. Okay? Therefore, that Atma, what happens to this Aham? It won't vanish when the body vanishes. The fixed point vanishes along with the body. But the Aham, which is reflecting in this body-mind, which inhabits the body-mind, which is in the body-mind, but which is not of the body-mind, that would not vanish. Nahanyate hanyamane sharire. Shankara discussed at one place, how can you say sharire hanyamane atma nahanyate? How can you say? Like you take a pitcher, a pot with ghee inside it. Suppose you drop it. What will happen to the ghee? First the pitcher or the pot gets broken, hanyate, it gets destroyed. Then what will happen to the ghee? That gets destroyed too. You take it like that. You cannot use it anymore. It is all lost. The pot is lost, and the contents of the pot are also lost. Similarly, when the body is lost, the Atma is also lost. No, that is not the example. You took a wrong example. The right example is the pot with the space inside. That is the right example. Or the pot with the light inside. So, therefore, space you take. That is enough. So, Akasha. So, you see, I give you an example. Pot and space is a standard example. I will give you a better example. I mean bigger example. There was a building, 4-story, 20 rooms, like this. Okay? Now, there are, what do you call, what is room? What is a room? The space only is the room. There is no other thing, you know. The space is your room, right? It is like I went for, somebody invited me for Gruha Pravesham. I went. And so, Swamiji, please enter. 3rd story. There are another story above. 1 or 2 more. 3rd story entered inside. And so Swamiji, look at there around the house. Yeah, I am looking at. Please tell me this floor, whose is this floor? He said, I cannot say this is mine because it is the roof for the down fellow. Maybe this is yours? No, that also I cannot say mine because it is the floor for the top guy. Oh, but this wall must be yours. No, sir, that is not our wall. That is the wall for the other guy also. That is the left